for coming to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're going to be talking about how to thrift like a pro. So if you're into that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll get right on to the video. Today we're going to have two topics. We're going to be talking about where to find the thrift stores and how to find cute stuff in the thrift stores. If you're in the South Florida area, my 4 favorite thrift stores are Red, White, and Blue thrift store, Out of the Closet thrift store, Salvation Army, and Goodwill. Those are by far the best thrift stores out here right now. They have amazing pieces. They range from $3 to $10 each, and usually if you're going into a Goodwill, they have like major discounts. So like if it's a specific color, they can do 50% off. Like let's say the color is blue, you get either 50 or 25% off. So that's what I really like about Goodwill. They also do the same for Out of the Closet, Salvation Army. So that's really cool about the thrift stores around here. If you're in the West Coast, I heard that Savers is another really great thrift store. Other places you can shop for thrifted items is a vintage thrift store. It's a little bit different than a Goodwill in the terms that your price range has to be a little bit higher, actually a lot bit higher. It ranges from $20 to $400, but you can really find amazing pieces in a vintage thrift store like vintage Prada, vintage Dior, vintage Fendi, but it's harder to find that stuff in a Goodwill. So if you're looking for that and you want to spend a higher price, vintage stores are really good for that. You can also go to flea markets. They have home stuff, they have clothes, really anything for any various amount of prices. It could be $20 to $200. Really depends on the different flea markets that you go to. Another thing that you can go to find thrifted items is a outlet store. Let's say you go to a Goodwill outlet store. I'm sorry, I was out of focus. But you walk into a warehouse and you pick out a bunch of stuff and they go based off the pound. So it's really, really cheap, and it's a really good way to start your business on Depop, just finding a bunch of stuff and reselling them for a cheap price. And I really suggest that. But my main thing that I shop at is Goodwill, and I have the best Goodwills in my area. The best Goodwills are literally 20 minutes away, and I can find amazing stuff. So for example, I'll give you a little sneak peek. At my Goodwill, I found this really cute slip dress that has hearts on it. It's really, really adorable. And you can find this in the lingerie section. Another thing that I found is this cherry logo top. It's really cute. It has ruffles on the side. I found this in the women's section. Another thing I found is this amazing leopard print jacket. It has cuff sleeves and it's perfect for like an everyday look. With that being said, in Goodwills you can find contemporary clothes. In Miami, it is really hard to find Goodwills and stuff like that. Most of the time they have like the higher end vintage stores, so you really just have to know what you want to spend in Miami. If you're willing to go outside of Miami, that's where the really good thrift stores are, in my opinion. At a vintage thrift store, I found this Britney shirt and it was about $20, a really good steal. Another thing I found at a vintage thrift store is this top. It looks like the top that I Am Gia is selling right now, and she's selling it for $60, and I got it at a vintage thrift store for $25. So it was such a steal. It has the braided straps. So let's talk about when you're entering Goodwill. Sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming, and sometimes I really do feel like that a lot, but you really just have to take a deep breath. And my biggest tip is to look through every single item. I'm sorry about the lighting change, it's getting a little dark, but when I first walked into a thrift store, I didn't search through the whole thrift store, and I was kind of getting a little discouraged about everything. I stopped for a few months, and once I got back into it, I really went into a mindset of I'm going to be staying there for a little while and I'm going to be looking at every single piece. And with that being said, I found a bunch of amazing stuff. I focus on more of earthy tones when I go into Goodwill. I don't really look at the bright colors because the bright colors just don't appeal to me as much. So I look at the earthy tones, the black clothes, the white clothes, the red clothes, and more of like a pastel kind of clothes. And that's where you can find like all of the best pieces, in my opinion. So for the different sections of a Goodwill, if you're looking for more of an oversized type of look, then I would highly suggest going into the men's section. They have the best t-shirts ever. If you're looking for more of a baby tee kind of look, you can definitely look in the kids section. Trust me on this, it's one of the best places to look for thrifted stuff. If you get a large kids shirt, it will fit like a medium because I'm a medium and it fits really well on me most of the time. Another one of the biggest places that I shop in Goodwill is the lingerie and sleepwear section. The lingerie and sleepwear section is one of the best places because you can find slip dresses, you can find corsets, skirts, really anything. And it's all pretty cheap. Everything in Goodwill that's lingerie is $4 around there, so it's a really good price. Another place I shop is the dresses. You can find sunflower dresses, alternative dresses, floral prints, anything you want. The dresses can get a little overwhelming because there is so many in Goodwill, but you really just have to look at every single item and weed out the ones that you don't like. I really would recommend going with a friend because it makes the time pass by a little bit more, to be honest. The tip is to look at the rack that they just put out. Most of the time Goodwill has a rack right by the cashier that they haven't sorted out and they haven't put in their correct places. Make sure you go through that rack because that's a really important rack to look through. But yeah, another like thing when you go into thrifting, you have to have a mindset to thrift, because if you walk into thrifting feeling a little tired, or you walk into thrifting thinking that you're not going to find anything, you're not going to find anything. So you really just have to be in the mood to thrift and you will find amazing pieces. If you're going to a thrift store in a more wealthy town, then you will find more higher end pieces. You have to make sure that you know that almost every single piece in a Goodwill is different brands. So every brand has a different sizing chart. So I would really highly suggest to try on everything. If you don't want to try on something and you think it's like unhygienic, because I feel the same way, you can wear like a tight shirt with you and wear leggings and put the outfits on over your clothes, so you just remain a little bit more clean. That's what I do when I go into things. I always try them on because you never know what your size is going to be because it's all different brands. Other tips I wanted to talk about with first-time thrifters is to always bring cash, because you never know what thrift stores take credit card or not, so just be prepared. Another thing is to always wash your clothes, because what they do is they take it right from the donations and then they put it right on the rack. So you always just want to wash your clothes. It's better safe than sorry, especially right now. Another thing that I want to talk about is checking for damage on any of the pieces that you get. If you want to resell a piece, I think it would be really important to check the damage. But if you're doing it for yourself and you think that a little damage won't hurt anyone, then by all means go ahead and do it. You honestly have to go a lot if you want to find like really great pieces. And I would also recommend going to thrift stores on the weekdays, because one, they won't have a lot of people in there at the weekdays, and it's easier to find more of a selection because a lot of people come in and want to buy things on the weekends because that's when they're off. So if you have the time, I would definitely recommend to go on the weekdays. So another thing is to like think creatively when you're looking at an item. Let's say that you are looking at something and you're like, oh, I don't really like this a lot. But you have to think maybe if you want to do like a raw hem, or if you want to alter it in some way, you could do that. So just remain an open mind and stay positive when you're thrifting, because that will always help. And I think that's about it. Any other questions that you guys want to know, make sure you guys comment down below and I will definitely answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every single one of you that come here and watch my videos every day. It means the world to me. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.